All right, traders, today is July 11th, 2025. It's a Friday coming into a just a 2-day weekend. All right, let's take a look at some charts. See how I made 30K today. Thank you all for being here. What a crappy day. I got to say, you got up over VWAP. You just never went anywhere. Look at this, just bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce. Tough day, really a tough day. How we made money today. Zero DTE, 525 calls. Every time it went up, you can see right here. Sold the rallies, bought the dips. Same thing with the 628 calls. Bought the dips, sold the rallies. 630 calls. Never got going. Again, you can see obviously never got off the ground. Bought the dip, sold the little rallies there. $33 on some 627 calls. Tried to buy the dip here and sell the peak. Still holding some overnight into tomorrow. We still have a higher low right here, so I still believe we still head back up to the highs. We'll see what happens. All right, so I'm holding some of those into the close. So that right there was how we made 30K today in the BYOB Trading Room. All right, let's take a look at our 10-minute chart. Let's drill down here. Let's move this out of the way. All right, 10-minute chart. All in all, this is consolidation. According to the chart, we got a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. 2-hour chart. Okay, still got on the 2-hour chart, we have a we got a bearish cross. Let's see, the 3 EMA 623.65. So that's lower than the T line, which is the 8, 623.67. All right, so got a bearish cross coming into the close right there. On the daily chart, lower high, lower low, closing inside a bullish trap. You can see up here, all right, all the way up at the top of the quadrant lines. So that's bullish up there, quadrant 4. Okay, all the way up there at the top of the quadrant lines, bullish in quadrant 4. No new all-time high. Okay, way up here, quadrant 4, that's bullish. Still holding the higher ground, still in an uptrend. All right, didn't make a move today after 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th day, this should have been up there, but obviously market makers didn't want to make that happen today. All right, so there's SPY on the daily chart. Let's take a look. Weekly chart, still in an uptrend right here. Monthly chart, still in an uptrend right here. What do I like? I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, inside of 2-hour uptrends, inside of daily uptrends, inside of weekly uptrends, inside of monthly uptrends. All right, so we had a little bit of that today that just never got going. So there's SPY on the daily chart again, up here at the top of the highs. QQQ, let's take a look at that. And QQQ, same thing as SPY, closing in the trap up at the top at the quadrant 4. That's still bullish, still in an uptrend. FNGU, all right, still holding the higher ground up here. Lower high, lower low, little different, closing below a bearish cross, but over the rising 17. Again, up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish and in an uptrend. All right, so that's still bullish up there. And in an uptrend because got lows here, we made higher lows, and we got higher highs. Okay, let's take a look at IWM. IWM takes a breather. Lower high, lower low, closing in the bullish trap over the 17. Still up in the upper third, that's bullish. Still up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Still up over the 17. Still in an uptrend, that's bullish. Still. Nothing's falling apart yet. Diamond Dow got a lower high and a lower low, closing in a bullish trap, that's bullish. Over the 17, that's bullish. Don't like the lower high that we set on a few of these indexes though. We're up at the top of quadrant 4, that's bullish. and we're up over the 17 EMA. That's also bullish. And then an uptrend. Got a couple of lows, a couple of higher lows, a couple of higher highs up here. Okay, Diamond Dow still bullish and in an uptrend. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2122. We fell out of the overbought zone into the seller's chop zone. We're actually right into the midpoint. Okay, we came in here to the seller's chop zone, made an appearance in the buyer's chop zone, came back to the seller's chop zone, back up to the buyer's chop zone, and then we found a home inside the buyer's chop zone. T2123 on the 15-minute chart. Okay, still haven't filled this bullish gap down here. Okay, price held the higher ground. Okay, so it's like holding a plank for 6.5 hours right there. Okay, you got some green dots, got some red dots, but all in all, that's straight across just about. All right, still up over and holding that higher ground. That's still bullish. Up over the rising 200 SMA, up over two prior all-time highs right there. That's still bullish. 3-bar chart, holding the higher ground. 3 more green candle bars put in today. Still got that bullish trap. Hasn't been filled. Bullish trap hasn't been filled. Another bullish trap hasn't been filled. A lot of bullish traps that haven't been filled. One here, one there, one here. Got a big one back here. All right, so still holding the higher ground. That's still bullish. T2123 3-bar chart up over the up over the flat 200 SMA. That's bullish, and in an uptrend, making a low. You can see they made a higher low, got a high. They making higher highs. So it's still an uptrend. 3-bar chart. FNGU. FNGU still taking a breather. If you look at it, we're still up and over to the right. Okay, so you can see price action right here has gone up and over to the right. Okay, kind of a sloppy hold. Looks nothing like T2123, but a sloppy hold up here. And we lost it. We got up underneath this 200. I think maybe on Monday or Tuesday we get some bank earnings come out, and I wouldn't be surprised to see price back up on top of this 200 SMA. Still holding the higher ground, so that's bullish. Just a little bit of cooling off today and yesterday. Okay, you can see you got some selling and then a little bit of buying up over VWAP. Spent the day, most of the day, up over VWAP. All right, but again, we did gap down. All right, you got a bearish gap down that got filled by the bulls right there. All right, so that's a clue that the bears don't have that much strength all the way up here. All right, so we're still holding the higher ground. That's bullish. Again, up over this all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish up there. Still in an uptrend. We haven't made any lower lows here on FNGU. Okay, still moving over to the right. You know, we have made some lower lows as compared to these little lows below the 17 on the 15-minute chart, but as far as the daily chart goes, we're still bullish up here. So there's FNGU on the 15-minute chart. Okay, kind of in a downtrend on the 15. All right, just to let you know that you got a low and you're making lower lows. That's a downtrend on the 15. But if you look at price structure, we're up and over to the right. That's bullish up there. Okay, so yeah, they're cooling off some, and that's fine. All right, as long as we're not breaking major support right here, we're looking good. There's FNGU on the 15-minute. Again, holding the higher ground. Let's take a look at a few sectors. We'll start off with daily chart of the XLE. All right, XLE, does it put in a new new rally high? Not quite. XLE, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP again. That's good news. Look at them trying to hold the higher ground again. Look, remember here, they lost it. Well, they went back to get some more, and they seem to have found a home. We'll see what happens. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 days and then they lost it. We've been up here 4 days, so we'll know next week. Again, price up over downtrend line 1 and downtrend line 2 and the all-time high anchored VWAP. Again, they got a habit of moving up and giving it up, same as moving down and giving it up, so that makes them just neutral. All right, they're still in an uptrend. Like to see them make the higher high though. I think they can get that done. Looking for a higher high here on XLE. Let's take a look at USO. USO put in a nice day, back up there in the upper third. That's bullish. Remember, they lost it yesterday. Well, they're back again today, so that's bullish. Again, still in an uptrend. Got a couple of lows here. They're putting in some. They put in a higher low and a higher high. That's bullish. That's in an uptrend. Price up over the bullish trap. That's bullish. Over the flat 17. That's bullish. In the upper third. That's bullish. Up over this 3-year high anchored VWAP. That's a pink line. That's bullish and in an uptrend up there. USO looking good. Nice hold there. All right, finally hold. All right, remember they got up here and they held for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then they gave it up. Okay, like to see them hold well into next week. That would be a clue if they can get hold a little bit longer than when they lost it up here. Okay, so there's USO. Uptrend, bullish. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG in a downtrend. We got 4 lows right here. They made 3 lower lows right there. So, okay, that's a downtrend. You got a couple of highs here. Got 2 lower highs there. So that's a downtrend. Price action for today. Higher low, higher high, closing in a bearish trap under the falling 17. All the way down here in quadrant 1. So that's bearish. And underneath this 18-month high anchored VWAP. Again, that's bearish, okay? Showing you a head and shoulders pattern. This would be, this double top is the right shoulder. This double top is the left shoulder. This triple top right here, bing, bing, and bing. Those 3 are the head up top there. Looking like they're going to come down here and attack the all-time lows made in November, all right? So showing you a head and shoulders pattern on UNG and in a downtrend and in quadrant 1, so that's bearish. Okay, let's take a look at GLD. GLD breaks the downtrend. Okay, they broke it. You can see the peak up over the 17 there. Well, they made a higher high, so they're back in an uptrend. Okay, so GLD in an uptrend. Okay, I told you they were in a downtrend but not moving down, and here they are making a new higher high, so that puts them back into an uptrend. Price action, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17 EMA, that's bullish, up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, that's a pink line, that's bullish. Up here in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Look at the price structure, hold the higher ground. Okay, you go up and over to the right. Okay, that's bullish. Currently showing you an inverse head and shoulders. This would be the head. You get shoulder, right shoulder is over here. Left shoulder is over here. Okay, so could see a breakout on this pretty soon if they get over this neckline right there. So there's gold in an uptrend and bullish, holding that higher ground. Let's take a look at silver. Wow. Wow. All right. Okay. New 12-year high right there on silver. Okay. New rally high, new 12-year high. Silver, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17, over the consolidation. Wow, that's a nice chart. A target for October calls. Let me just let me flip to a different chart. Pivot points, they only work for, I would go with let's just go with the measured move. All right, let me see if I can dig one out for you. All right, so here we'll go with a little measured move. All right, we'll go from this low up to that high, and then we'll measure that off. We'll duplicate it, and then we'll go from this low up to that high. So we got a measured move target, 38.91. 38.91. All right, about 38. Okay, 38.91. That's a measured move target. Yeah, probably get up to 40. All right, probably get over that 38.41. 91. Excuse me. All right, so obviously new 12-year high. That's bullish. All right. No, you want to see the monthly chart on that. Okay, so you can see the last time we were at these highs right here. Let's see where we are. The last time was right there. So that would make it, well, 12, not a 12-year high. That makes it a 13-year high. No, 12-year high. New 12-year high right there. Okay. All-time high is 48.35. All right. 48.35. And for target, okay, first target, Mel, is 36.44. Then 38.91. Okay. Okay, those are our targets up there. All right, you can see we're getting up on top of that base right there. Nice move for silver. All right, back to the daily chart. Okay, obviously bullish. It's a 13-year high, 12-year high. Doesn't get any better than that until it takes out the all-time high. Let's take a look at SMH. All right, SMH puts in a I just got to look at this. High 289.19, 288.19, 288.19, 288.94. New all-time high for SMH today. It doesn't get any better than that. Just drop the mic. All right, that doesn't get any better than that. New all-time high. XLK. Lower high, lower low, closing in the bullish trap. Top of quadrant 4. Remember yesterday they put in a new all-time high. That's bullish up there on XLK. Let's take a look at XLF. Okay, financial's going to report next week, I hear. Lower high, lower low, closing underneath bullish trap, but over the 17. Top of quadrant 4, above the consolidation, and over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, that's bullish on XLF. Still in an uptrend. You got a couple of lows, you got a couple of higher lows, you got a high, you made a higher high. That's bullish. All right, let's take a look at IYT. IYT, lower high, lower low, closing in a bullish trap, but over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Up here in quadrant 4, that is bullish. All right, that's bullish up there. Still in an uptrend, making higher lows and higher highs. All right, that's it. I'll take a look at any charts you want me to look at. Other than that, I want to wish everybody a great weekend. Anything? Any charts you want me to take a peek at? If not, Thank you, everybody. And hey, thank you too, Jim. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Thanks for hanging out. SPY thoughts next week. Higher. I think as earnings come out, got some good news from EU. They're not going to do a digital tax on us. That's good. If we could convince them to do some free trade, that's just even more. I think we're going to be set up, in the launch pad for a rate cut. I see further bullishness up there. All right. If we do happen to break on SPY, all right, because we just want to point this out, okay? This was like a failure to make a significant higher high. Now, the market may look at this one of two ways. This is a higher low, okay? We obviously made a higher low right here, dropping down. But we failed to make the higher high today. So they could look at this as a lower high and then come down. I would be looking for, if they happen to break this low through here, like 619.94, a pullback to the 613 area, which is the prior all-time high, and then begin a consolidation pattern that waffles in this $10 range between or $11 range, 624.50 and 613.50. All right, if they happen to break below this and start making lower lows. All right, other than that, we're still looking at a wedge right up through here. Still looking at a bullish wedge right there. All right, but if they happen to break this, I think we start to consolidate between 613, 624.50 and 613.50, right about there. Okay, so between the gold line and this green line, we begin a consolidation pattern, and then we wait for good news that's coming in the pipeline for another breakout. Okay, so if we break below that low. Remember, we put in a higher low yesterday. All right, so in this, we were bullish all day today. Okay, not a real convincing bullish, but look, we spent most of the day over VWAP, which we did gap down, but for the most part, we didn't go lower. We went up instead of down. So, again, they're paying attention to the wedge so far. But if they happen to break, see all these tails here? Good chance we're coming down to 613.50. And then we begin the consolidation pattern, okay? Mel, but Nix, you want me to look at it? Or you just want to tell me about it? Or daily? NIX, I just can't seem to pull that one up on my chart. ONIXX. I like the higher low. I like that. It's not bad. I think there's better stuff out there, like the SPY. This nice $2 stock, yeah. You're making higher lows. It's consolidating. It's nice. Did you ever see my bullish charts, my bullish ones from the list? There's lots of nice uptrends right in here. All right. I know they're not $2 stocks, but there's lots of nice uptrends right in there. Anytime you see green erases red on like the hourly chart, okay, there's some bulls and there's some bears. If you like trading stuff other than the SPY, okay, I give this to you every morning. It's in the chat. All right. And what else did Mel like? She likes SBET. Okay, I'm on the daily chart. That's a really new one, or I don't know what this is. That's bullish. There's all get out right there. This higher lows. looking like you're ready for a gap fill. I like that. I actually like that. And I don't like this bearish gap down, but I like the idea that they're filling the gap right now. That's actually looking good. But I would dump it after I got gap fill. I would probably dump it if I even got to this red. I would dump like 80% if I got to this red candle bottom or this green candle bottom. Either one. Right up there. But that's actually looking really good. It's crypto related. Okay. HUBC on the daily chart. Are you bottom picking, Mel? I mean, SB looks good, but this one, you don't even have, you got only 2 green candle days here on this. On that one. You got some interest, all right. You got some interest right there. You got some higher lows. So that's actually looking good. This is just me, Mel. I would want to see it clear these two wicks up there. If it cleared those 2 wicks and held up top, I would actually like that. All right. Getting back up to here, right into those wicks, I would take profit and leave a trailer. If it got up there and held, I would be interested in it for longer on HUBC. Longer term, hold for the Pentagon. Okay. You got one more. No, I got them all. All right. Also, oh wait, UAVS. UAVS. Yeah, I like that a lot. See the hook? Man, I love the hook. Oh yeah, I like that. Closing up over. Look at it. It's closing up over the bodies. That's really bullish. And you got all of this going on. Yeah, I like that. Got a higher low. Yeah, they're off to make a higher high. I think you probably get them to come up to right up. See this right here? 216. That would be a profit taking or at least like an 80% off, 20% trailer. Right there, underneath this consolidation. See those tails? So like right around 215. Okay. I like that. I love that. Love that higher high, that big hook up. That's nice. All right, and we got next. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, lower ones for the smaller. What do the tickers with? Oh, those are in the tickers with the Fred. Those are the ones with, they're in little grinder boxes. All right, this is, see how coin? This was yesterday's. See coin, Fred? Yeah, I do this every day. Coin, see how it has the little star next to it, Fred? Now watch this. All right. So coin, that's yesterday's candle. See, it was in a grinder box up here, actually showing an inverse head and shoulders right there. And I said this was ready for a breakout. Okay, now this is the 9th. All right, and here's the 10th. Boom, right there. Grinder box breakout. See how it moves up and holds the higher ground? All right, like it's trying to grind away at overhead supply right there. So there you got the pop. All right, so I star them if they do this. Okay, they have to go up and hold for like 4 or 5 days. All right, and then if they build the launch pad All right, I star them so you guys can capture the launch. All right, you see what I did? Yeah, okay. So I capture them so you can take advantage of the launch. They build the launch pad and then they do the launch. All right, so let's. You want to see another one? Let me see if I can find another one for you. PL was setting up that. Oh, this is today's, and FLR. Okay, FLR. Actually, FLR did break out once, and now it's starting another launch pad. Okay, see, this was the prior launch pad, and you can see you got a little launch. Guess what you're doing now? You're consolidating over prior consolidation. That's bullish. Okay, so they're building another launch pad right here. That's FLR. Okay, right there, FLR. And if you ever want to find all these, all right, they're up here. All you got to do is just go to the top. All the way up at the top. At the beginning of the day. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, and don't forget, we got open house. All right. Our friend over at Right Way Options, Doug Campbell. All right. It's one of our. All right. He's gonna have an open house on Monday, July 14th, from 9:25 till 4 p.m. Okay, but he does a video in the morning. All right, so he won't start till 9:25, but his video will be ready for you to watch, long before 9:25. So get there at 9 and watch the video so you can take advantage of being prepared when he opens up the market with you guys at 9:25 on Monday, July 14th, 9:25 to 4. And you can use this, get your smartphone, scan that link, and you get registered for open house. Now it's free, it's no charge to attend, okay, but you do have to register. All right, so I'll leave the link in the description of the video. But if you can't wait and you just want to scan that, all right, just scan that and open up the link, and we'll email you the credentials to get into the Right Way Options Trading Room, all right, for Monday morning, all right, and Ed will have it all opened up for you, all right, so everybody can get in, all right. So that's that. Okay, now up here, see that's where I create the kind of like the monologue for yesterday's action in the market, and then I give you a bulls list and a bears list right there. So it's all the way at the top in the morning. Always starts out up here. Plus I give you a SPY game plan and a QQQ game plan right there. Okay. Yeah, those asterisk ones. Yep. And that's it. Okay, the other one was, I think it was PL. All right, so PL's kind of rolling over, so I would not. It's still in an uptrend because it's over the 17. But you can see it's kind of giving up the action right here on PL. Let's see what else we got. FLR. I already went over that one. Let's see what we got. ZS didn't work out. Now they don't all work out. So here's ZS. All right. So if they're in a 10-minute downtrend under VWAP, for God's sakes, don't buy them to swing trade. Okay. So here's ZS. All right. See, it was in a grinder box ready for a breakout. See, now notice they were in a box over here. All right. And then they broke out to new consolidation over it. Then they started this launch pad up here, and you can see they gave it up right there yesterday. All right, and more. So once they get under the 17, that's no good. All right, so if you look at the price action on a 10-minute, you see a 10-minute downtrend, under VWAP, for gosh sakes, don't buy it thinking you're going to get the low. All right, wait for the 10-minute uptrend in the grinder box. Okay, that'll work out a whole lot better. All right, so that's the S right there. But I do this every day now. I star them if they look like they're setting up a launch pad. All right, that's it for me for today. All right, I'm going to see you guys all on Monday. Okay, don't forget open house if you want to attend in Doug's room. QR code is the only way to get into the open house. No, Mel, Ed shared the link up here earlier. If you just scroll up. Okay, Ed's got the link. All you gotta do is scroll up right to... It's coming, Mel. Bear with me. Right here. Here's the link right there. Okay? You just click that link and it will open up a registration page. All right? You see it, Mel? Well, you got to register. You can either do you can either do it with a smartphone, do the QR code, or click a link and get registered so that you can attend. All right. Now I don't know whether members have to be registered, but I would just register anyways. All right, everybody. I'll see you. Everybody have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. All right. Thank you for hanging out with me.